Yeah, because here we go.
Okay.
It seems that when people discuss about Cara Marie's comment about WWE, it's a requirement for WWE women to dress and act like strippers. I can't tell any of them apart. Try something new, ladies.
What? That right there is what pissed me off because you're putting Summer Rae in the same category. You're putting Charlotte in the same category as Summer Rae
Yeah.
and Eva Marie.
And I
Heck, Summer Rae is a better
and
wrestler now. Summer Rae's gotten better
that
wrestling.
one Oscar. She's
Asuka,
Akana is
yes,
actually
or
a very
Kana,
good wrestler.
what we knew her.
She's been in the New
Kana
Japan
Pio,
for
yes.
years.
She's been Japanese. I'm not sure if it was New
She's
Japan, but I know she's been in the Japanese circuits ever
Yeah, and
since
she's a very
2003.
very
That
experienced
woman
woman, and she does her
has
moves
no
pretty
in
well.
her
And I know that Bailey fought her several times.
No, I'm gonna put it like this. She is such a veteran that they made her an unstoppable fighting machine, an
I
unstoppable
know.
destroyer because they know they have. And Asuka, I'm gonna put it like this. Kana, she's a
Yeah,
freaking talented
and the
woman.
thing about this is that this woman has no fucking clue what was going on about in the WWE. She assumes that everyone's a stripper in that whole thing, just because she remembers back in the early '90s and 2006 through
You
2006.
know what? I could see them saying that like 5 years, like 10 years ago, with like Kelly Kelly or
Yeah,
Barbie Blank is what her real name is. Like with Barbie Blank or who
yeah,
else? Eve Torres. I could see her saying that about them. I'd be fine with her saying that because Kelly Kelly's character, she basically was a stripper or an exhibitionist, how she called
yeah.
herself, basically a stripper.
And,
She basically was stripping on app, is like when she was on ECW when she was 19 years
Yeah,
old, and
because and I know, and
that's what they
she was
made her
like,
out to be.
because back then you have to realize, even
I mean, yes, she was hot. Yeah, I mean, yes, she was hot, but but, but
yeah,
it's
because
not like what it used to be.
she was trying to
And
make a
we still
living,
make fun
and
of like
that's
WWE
understandable.
being. We still make fun. Yeah, I get that, but we still make fun of WWE for staying in the old ways, like King Ross always has a song out saying Vince McMahon loves big sweaty men. Vince McMahon loves big sweaty men. He has that song because it's like there are these big guys that stare down
Okay.
at each other. So it's like Undertaker, Braun Strowman,
According to
Undertaker,
this,
Brock Lesnar,
she
Goldberg, Ring.
wasn't. She's a kickboxing boxing instructor, MTV Challenge vet, equestrian, obstacle racer, artist, CrossFit. So she's just a reality star.
Yeah, that's it. A reality star. She's no different than
Yeah,
the Miz to us. She's
because
no different than the Miz.
even MTV's training
And
is harsh.
that's an insult.
Even actually MTV. I'm correction. WWE's training is a very harsh and it's very hurting too because they can really hurt.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You know how often they get
Oh,
injured?
yeah, and they have to
All the
train
time.
constantly, and it's no joke that she thinks that oh WWE requires women to be strippers, and those women actually have to train every fucking day.
They are in fighting outfits. Nia Jax isn't in revealing clothing.
I
And
know,
you
and
know
Nia
what?
Jackson's like,
They have to
you
cover
told
their
me that her
boobs. They have to
background that she
cover
was a plus
they have
size
to cover
model.
their boobs. Yeah, she was a plus size model. She's a very gorgeous woman, plus size model, very big woman too. And here they are, here they are, just coming out of the woodwork, calling them strippers
Well, I
because,
don't
well,
see Nia Jackson twerking the whole fucking time in this whole. It's like
oh God, no,
she
no,
doesn't
none of them talk. Carmella, for instance, Carmella calls herself
actually,
the
except
hottest
for
chick in the ring.
one,
She
because she does that.
basically
What was that
lost.
one chick
She
that does that booty
she
attack? Because there's like two. Yeah,
Oh, that's Naomi. It's
yeah,
Naomi.
the hip
It's
attack,
called the
and it
hip
was so
attack,
funny
though.
too.
That's the rear view. I always joke. We always joke and say
The
it's a
twerking
twerking
finisher.
finisher.
Yeah,
It's
but
a twerking.
she actually got people
It's not.
looking at that
No,
like, damn, wow, look at her. She actually pulled a pretty cool move.
no, but it's called the move
Yeah,
itself is called the hip attack. It's called the hip attack, and
yeah,
Oscar
she
does
does
it as
too.
well as Naomi, and they do it, and here they are. I don't. I
It's
don't even
fine.
know. I'm at a
Go
loss
ahead
of words
and
here.
continue on with what you had to say.
No, I'm going to say it like this. I'm a huge wrestling fan. If Mildred was here, he would be talking about this just as much as I would, raging about this because, well, we're fans of this stuff. We're fans of the art.
The
We're fans of
WWE,
the
and a lot of us do like
fans.
wrestling, and it's like,
Yeah, we're wrestling is artwork. Wrestling is an art. That is an art that is very hard to do. I don't think people really get that. That is an artwork. Like some of those moves and stuff, that takes a
and I
lot of
agree
hard
with
work to
you
do.
because here's
Some fat ass said, "Oh, you're just showing a shitty moonsault like that. You're trying to defend her by showing this some asshole who looks like he could be off of airport. Looks like the poster
and the
board for
sad part
Airport Slaw
is
says, "Oh, you're just showing it. You're just showing a shitty moonsault and stuff." It's like I was this close, JT, really close to saying Airport Slaw. She's not capsized. I was so close
yeah,
to saying
and the
that.
thing is that that whole situation with her saying that comment about WWE women, it's like, you know, at least they're actually making,
I respect those
they're
women. I
showing,
really
they're
respect
actually
those
showing
women
more
because
diverse women in the WWE than
yeah,
fucking
they're
MTV would ever do,
showing
because it's
like
all a bunch of
for
white women
instance,
complaining about
for
diversity.
instance, uh, for instance, yes, two white women hold the SmackDown and Raw Women's Championships, but a Japanese woman holds the freaking
Yeah.
NXT Championship. A Japanese woman, Asuka, holds
Actually,
the NXT
actually,
Championship, and the person that's set to take her
actually, what's
place,
her name
JP, the
got
person
that
that's set to take her
championship a
place.
while back, and she actually earned that title.
No, but I'm just saying it like this. So Sasha Banks, yeah,
Yeah,
she's also
Sasha
had the
Banks was
championship as
actually,
well. She's
she's
like
like
half black.
Filipino. She's like half
She's half.
Filipino, and
I, no, I'm not sure what she's
oh,
Snoop
okay.
Dogg's first cousin. Yes, but yes, how do I put this? What was I going to say? They are insulting. That is a complete and total insult to all the hard work those ladies put on out there. Every week, every month, every day, basically, they're training themselves. They're going to the gym and stuff, exercising the living hell out of everything. They are constantly opening themselves up to permanent damage and stuff. Like Paige, the woman who responded to her, the young woman who responded to her, she's currently out with I think it's a neck injury. I could be wrong, but I think it's a neck injury she's out with currently. Paige is currently out with an injury. Paige isn't wrestling right now because she is. I think she's injured for some reason. I forgot what it was. I think it's a neck injury. I could be wrong, but yeah, and she is out there trying to defend the WWE, and she, the poor girl, she's going through physical therapy right now so she could get back into wrestling. She's been. You know what's so funny? She called this young girl a stripper,
Mm-hmm.
Paige a stripper, even though she was calling them. She put Paige in this category. Paige has been wrestling
Yeah.
since she was 13. She's been training since she was 10.
Because I know that a lot of people.
Her first wrestling match, was at her father's promotion, and it was like a last minute thing. It's like, Soraya, get in the ring, or Brittany, get in the ring. Her ring name was Brittany Knight at the time. It's like, Brittany, get in the ring, or Soraya, get in the ring, you're wrestling today.
Yeah,
And she
but
was so
here's the
excited
funny
she got
thing
to
about
wrestle
this
and stuff.
lady.
And Billy Kay, and like there are two women on, there are a bunch of women. The woman set to take several of the women that are set to take the title from Asuka. One of them's name is Ember Moon. Yeah. She's black. Her skin is dark black. It's not like a light tone black woman like Sasha Banks. No, it's a dark tone she has and stuff. Beautiful woman, amazing wrestler, one of the best stunners I've ever seen, where she jumps from the top rope and catches him with a stunner, a move she calls the Eclipse. One of the best stunners I've ever seen in my life.
And the funny thing is, they're trying. I'm sorry about this. It's echoing. At the end of the day, here's what Cara Maria is saying right now. At the end of the day, none of these girls can hold a candle to Lita at WWE.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yes, Amy Dumas, aka Lita, she had a much tougher time in the WWE because, like, she never got to wrestle in a match at WrestleMania. Never had that match with Trish. Yes, they screwed her over. They made her. They basically, when she retired, they basically had a.
She was injured most of the time.
Crime Time bring out. No, they had Crime Time literally bring out her clothes. Literally all of her clothes, like, and say, "Oh, look what the hoe had in the backstage," and they're selling like her underwear and stuff. Yes, that was a shitty move, but that was 2003, and I was Vince McMahon in 2003. What do you expect? Yeah. And but that was then, and she's evolved and she's done other things and stuff, and they've all grown up and stuff, and Triple H is now running the division stuff. Lita has like a huge say in how like the women's division is run. I don't think that idiot knows that Lita is one of the producers for the women's wrestling in the WWE. None of them get it.
Yeah, because the thing about that is that I look at this. I'm sorry for the echoing, guys. It's just I know that.
I'll put on my headphones. I think it might be me.
It's just
taking a second.
It's just a lot of people don't realize this, so it's probably from my. You think that she thinks that this whole issue is sexism and they dress provocatively, but some of these women actually, it's how they dress, it's how they present themselves in the ring. But in the end, they also have to perform like dangerous moves that which you wouldn't believe. And yet she wants to bring up
that woman. She would never. That idiot. She would never risk that one woman. She would never risk performing a moonsault, let alone a. She would never. She would be too afraid. She'd be nail biting, terrified of a moonsault. The funny thing,
I'm looking at this,
and a moonsault's like one of the moves that almost every woman in wrestling knows. A lot of all the fire.
And the funny thing is, Lita did some provocative stuff too.
Yeah, of course Lita did provocative stuff. Yeah, of course Lita did provocative stuff.
You might remember that one with what's his name, Test or
Edge.
I don't know.
I remember she did some of the Edge as well.
She was like, because they were doing that bed, they were doing it in the ring, and I was just laughing. Like, this was an unbelievable show.
It was like, God.
That was back then.
Yeah, well, they did that because Edge was trying to create that story. Basically goes to Edge was trying to create this rated R superstar angle that he wanted to do, and they wanted him to be the heel at the time because John Cena. We all knew John Cena wasn't going to be the bad guy. So
I laughed.
So let's make Adam.
Let's make back in the days. He used to always get on the microphone with his hat on, and all gangsterish, and just.
Oh God. Oh God, I remember Gangster Cena
was just like he was like, y'all motherfucker.
Oh God, yeah. The AA, one of his finishing moves, the Attitude Adjustment. It originally was called the FU.
And I laughed at some of the stuff that John Cena did, but he actually earned his credibility by
Yeah, he worked. He worked hard for it. And I get it. A lot of people don't like him
Yep.
because they pushed him too hard. I mean, they pushed him. They
Yep.
pushed him more than anybody else. They wanted him the modern day Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
They
And
turned
the
him into
thing
Hulk
is
Hogan.
that you have to realize something. Now she might have looked at it back then, but a lot of people are pointing out to Cara Maria that Lita actually did do some provocative stuff too.
Yeah, yeah, she did. They
And
all
and
did
I'm looking,
provocative things. A lot of the women in that division, even
yeah,
today, have
and
done provocative things. But they grow. But it's all a part
yeah,
of living. It's like, yes, you've done provocative things, but that's not what you are in real life. Yes, you might have stripped on a TV show, aka Kelly Kelly. She might have stripped, but she's now I don't know what she's doing. She's on
yeah.
some reality
And
show,
the
from what
thing
I
is,
know.
is that a lot of people
Hmm.
are even showing pictures of
But
Charlotte like doing a backflip somersault slam. Yeah, moonsault
yeah,
slam. It's like
moonsault,
I I just don't know why.
and then some fat piece of shit says, "Oh, shitty moonsault," like that. And it's like, buddy, you couldn't
Yeah,
even
and
do
it's
that even
like
if you
they
tried.
don't realize this is that half of almost all these women have done a lot of things, and and it's sad that Cara Marie isn't aware of what half of these women done in history, and she's pretty much.
No, she's aware of it. She's aware of it, but she's just trying to create controversy,
I think
is
she's
what
trying to
she's
get into the
trying to do.
WWE.
We're talking about her. No, they're not going to put her in the WWE. They're not going to put her in there. They might put her in for WrestleMania, but the only thing that they would, under one condition, that half the women beat her
Well,
until she's unconscious. That is the only way they're going to let. That is the only way the women are going to work with her. It's like, okay, we'll let her in, but we get to knock her teeth out. That's what the women
yeah,
want her
because
in for,
she's
probably.
she's just basically just doing this "come at us, bro" challenge, MTV.com, and it's like this whole thing is.
You don't
No,
do that.
she's trying to
You
do
don't
that
do it to the
challenge
women.
thing, like the challenge invasion championships.
No, but I mean, you don't know, but you don't go after the women of the WWE like that.
I think she's trying to
You
I think
don't
she's
do
trying to
that to
get them
them.
to do that MTV challenge thing.
They're not going to. They don't have anything to prove to that dipshit. And I'm going to say that right now. They have nothing to prove to Cara. They have nothing to prove to her
Yeah,
whatsoever.
because I don't really think she knows what she was talking about. And the thing is,
No, she knows what she is talking about, but she wanted to create controversy, and
all
it
right, here's
exploded in her
another
face.
comment that she says: "When I become a WWE superstar, you will know me under the wrestling name Plan C, with a pill in there."
She's.
I don't even know what she's referring to, but that doesn't sound right.
I think it's like Planned Parenthood
Yeah, Planned
or something like
Parenthood.
that. I think that's what
Wrestling named
she's
Planned
probably
Parenthood.
referring to. I'm not really sure, but
Yes. Why is it that male models'
I'm
long
not
beards in
surprised if that
man's runs
feminist.
generally look angry? Is it because they can't eat without food crumbs all in the beard? It's like she's like I don't get it. It's like I don't think she knows what she's talking about. Undertaker forever. Hashtag
Oh, she does not.
WWE. She is a sort of a fan. The fact that Monday Night Raw
But
is on
that's not
Hulu
going
along
to.
with tons of other.
That's not going to. That's not going to. That's not going to get them to notice you. That's going to get them to blacklist you. Vince will blacklist you if you make fun of his women like that. You keep making fun of the women like that in his division, he will blacklist you. As in,
That
they're
all
not going to talk to
depends.
you. They're going to Chris Benoit her. They're going to Benoit her if she
That all
keeps going like
depends
that.
because I'm looking at this like
Unless this is I'm going to say one thing. Unless this is a publicity stunt and she's going to appear on an episode of Monday Night Raw and Nia Jax is going to beat her teeth in, which would be funny as hell.
Yeah, calling them strippers is one thing, but it's like, because they trained most of their lives. Half of them come from different backgrounds, and it's like I just don't get why people would get this upset about this. And it's like, I guess she could have done better, just saying, look, I just mentioned this as a joke. She probably mentioned this as a joke because I can see this. She really
No, she
meant
didn't.
it.
I'm looking
really
at this and
it.
I
Yeah,
think
and then
she really meant
mentioned
it.
Lita. Then she mentioned
That sounds like
Lita.
the fact that she did that stuff and Paige just went out of her way to say, "Oh yeah, I'm a big stripper," like that. Paige just like went out there and just like mocked the living hell out of her. It was funny as hell watching what Paige said to her.
Show me that.
It's under Twitter. It's under Twitter. I'm playing a
Okay,
game right now, so I can't really do anything.
Twitter feed right now.
Page, I think it's under Pages, but she literally told her off, and it was funny as hell.
Because I'm looking at, let's see, Still Gray, Star Gray, Tanner, Isabella, like they're just showing nudes.
Yeah, people. I don't know why they're putting nudes up, but
it's like they
who cares?
Really are getting crazy. Ride Dick Bicycle is showing pictures of these chicks, and it's like Mike Whitmore, Monica, Fabulous Date. What? Okay, that's not her.
Okay, that in place.
Try again, bro. We're getting worked at by this nobody. Okay. Basically, you want to be a stripper cute. 2. Bad, the other strippers are undercut. You're too... Yeah, it's like wrestling sexism. None of them look like strippers. It's a shame you chose to slut shame women. It's like, I don't think she knows what she was saying.
She probably did. Like I've been saying, the SJW mindset.
MTV sucks.
I think MTV off said for her to say those things, and you know what? They said them, and guess what? They are pissed off now. I don't think they really know who they pissed off. It's not just us fans. It's those women they pissed off. Those hardworking women that work every freaking day to make sure they get stronger. And it's not just the WWE wrestlers that they're making fun of. They're making fun of the women in the independent scene who have spent the majority of their lives trying to prove there is life other than the WWE. Women like Santina Garrett, Leva Bates, and a few others that have done nothing but prove that, hey, we know how to wrestle. We are wrestlers. We're not strippers. We're this, we're that.
My body women's march. You want to shame these women for the way they dress, but don't be bitter, be better. It's like, and the funny part is we're defending these women because it's like, I like Bailey.
We're defending women.
Yes, big surprise, ladies and gentlemen.
We're defending women.
The women of the WWE because we grew up watching these women.
We grew up watching. I grew up watching Trish Stratus. I grew up watching Lita. I grew up watching all these ladies wrestle, and I've watched them and I've seen some of the best matches and stuff. And just recently today, like on NXT these days and stuff like that, they've had some of the best matches and stuff. Yes, Vince McMahon screws up everything he touches. He's like the M. Night Shyamalan of wrestling, while Triple H is like, I'm not sure what to compare Triple H to. He's a really good director, basically, compared to M. Night Shyamalan.
They don't realize.
Name a good director.
They don't realize that there's a lot of history. Like, there's a lot of women in the WWE. Like, they have done a lot of things. Like, I remembered.
Vince McMahon likes big sweaty men. Vince McMahon likes big sweaty men.
Yeah,
that song is still funny.
They don't realize there's a lot of women in the WWE that have been doing this for a long.
They've been doing this for years.
That have been around for years, longer than I can remember.
But then again, I'm gonna speak out of truth here. The women that are doing this, they're jealous of these women in the WWE. They're just jealous of them, and it's pathetic.
A lot of people
really
remember.
is.
A lot of people remember Layla Young. And according to her background, she's an English dancer, model, retired professional wrestler, best known for her time in the WWE. And she was the original WWE's champion until the title was deactivated in 2010. And you might remember Brooke Adams, right? You remember Brooke Adams?
No, I don't. I kind of do, but
yeah, she was
other than that,
she was in the WWE for a while because she was a part of the Divas Search thing.
That was stupid. Yeah, that was stupid. The Divas Search,
but
I never liked it.
But she's in TNA right now.
Yeah. The ones I keep into this industry, fine, so be it. They're good wrestlers, but
because you remember Kelly Kelly, and everybody remembers Kelly Kelly, and Kelly Kelly in most of the time she started out, according to her background, as a model, American model, former professional racer, professional wrestling valet, better known by rig name Kelly Kelly. She's best known for her time in the WWE. And her background was in gymnastics and cheerleading. And she has done ECW.
Yeah, me and Milder still joke about what her name actually is. Like, we still laugh at the fact that her name was Barbie Blank.
Yeah, but
yeah, that's her actual name.
That's
it's
not a bad
Barbie
name,
Blank,
even
and
though it's funny.
I know it's not, but it's Barbara Blank, but she calls herself Barbie. So, and the fact that she was blonde during her career in the WWE just made it even funnier.
It was
just an inside joke we had
back in 2010, and she went up against Beth Phoenix. She did LaCoon.
Oh, she had a lot of matches. She held the Divas title for a while, and
she did. And...
But just this like ostracizing of the women, saying that they're nothing but strippers. That's the problem I have, is the fact that they went out of her way to call them strippers. It's like, you could call them a lot of things, but strippers is going a little too far.
A lot of people don't realize this is that Trish Stratus, let's see if I remember this one, because I remembered Mickie James was another one. And she was a veteran. And I remember Mickie James. Yeah, because she was a pretty good wrestler, and it's a shame that like she was pretty much in the independent circuit, but she was pretty good too. And
Mickie James was. For instance, her and Lita had a Like, for instance, her and Lita had a past together. They were friends before
Yeah,
they were in the WWE. So,
yeah, and it's like there's a lot of women that have been in the circuit longer than I can remember.
and Mickie James is back
And
in there
there's
again. They
also you
redrafted
remember
her. They
Medusa, right?
rehired her. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Lunder
Linda
Blaze
Blaze
and
was like,
Medusa. Yeah,
yeah, and a lot of people,
but it's just to the point, though. It's just to the point, though. The term they want to
or
use, I'm going to
AKA
use the
Bobby
SJW
Blaze,
term of this one, slut shaming. No, it's no, but I'm going to use the SJW's term.
mm.
They're slut shaming. They're literally no. This is 100% slut shaming. It's not like it's not like oh, you're slut shaming like because you don't or blah 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 or some stupid shit like that. No, this
Yeah,
is legitimate slut shaming
and I know that
because they're
Deborah Ann Michelli, that's her real name, Medusa. And I remembered her. I remembered her in the
oh yeah.
WCW circuit, and then she went into the WWF.
But I mean, like for instance, you wouldn't take pot shots at like Sable today because
Yeah,
look who she's married
yeah,
to.
I know, Brock Lesnar.
She's married to Brock Lesnar,
And the funny thing about this,
a man that once a man that took a bite out of Jupiter, and now it's not a planet anymore.
and I remembered,
A man that could beat
yeah,
up the
but
moon
he
if he
couldn't
wants
defeat
to,
what's his name.
and he could
Yeah,
beat
but he
Jupiter in
couldn't
a
beat
fight. I
Goldberg
mean,
because Goldberg took him down
yeah,
like
but
took him
that's
down
Goldberg
like
though.
less than like 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, but that's
Yeah,
Goldberg though.
he
What do you
does the
expect?
spear. He does the
Goldberg
spear
is a
thing.
destroyer. Well, they
Yeah, a
needed that
lot of
though. I
people
mean,
miss that guy.
right now we need
I
Goldberg.
miss him because he was always that guy that
Yeah,
was like, "Who's next?" Yeah, but as for Medusa, I wish. But the funny thing is, she came back in 2000, but they inducted her into the Hall of Fame in 2015. She's like, and it's like
yeah.
I remembered her when I was a young kid back in the early 90s, and around the time she basically was well known in the American Wrestling Association, which no longer is around anymore. And
Mhm. But it's just, but what we're getting at here is, there's plenty of talented women in wrestling stuff, and
yeah,
they wear revealing clothes. Yes, they do, but so do the men. The men are
and the
shirtless
funny thing
in the
is,
rings. The men are really shirtless. And there's always a joke, like King Ross always says, a joke, Vince McMahon likes big sweaty men.
big sweaty
Vince
man.
McMahon likes big
Yeah,
sweaty
and I used to
men.
remember, and I
And
remembered
then it shows like,
Medusa because she got up there and wrestled, and a lot of people, she
well, she
was
was a
an
wrestler.
awesome
That's all she
wrestler, but a
was.
lot of people forget that, and I don't think, and she got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
No, I mean what she was famous for was something that Eric Bischoff forced her to do: throw the title in
Yeah,
the garbage can, throw the women's title in the garbage can. That was Eric Bischoff's thing that he wanted to see happen. Stuff, and the real story behind that, I don't think many people know it, is they already fired her and all the other women. They released them all. So Medusa was already leaving the WWE
yeah,
or WWF at the time. She already left and stuff, and they already destroyed the women's division.
yeah.
They
But
already
she went into
canned the women's
WCW
division.
after that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though, they did that to her, and they that's the real story about that is they got rid of the women's division already, and
Yeah, but then they brought it back. Then they revived it
yeah, they brought it back in. They brought it back in
because
like 90. They brought it back in. Yeah, I forgot
around
when it was, but
2001.
they brought it back in. No, somewhere
Because
98.
right here it says right here, um, she was around. It was around 1995 and 2001. They brought it in, and then they fired her in
Yeah.
I think around 2001, and then they revived it back in 2003.
No, they had a women's division before that. No, they had a
Yeah.
women's division before that. They did it in
Yeah.
1998.
And surprisingly,
They brought it back
you
in
know,
1998. I remember.
I wish she would come back, but she's like 52 years old.
She's beyond her years of wrestling. I mean, she's still physically fit.
Yeah.
You've seen her just recently. It's like she hasn't. She looks like she hasn't aged a bit.
Yeah.
You look at Medusa or Lunder,
Yeah.
however you want to pronounce her. If you look at her just recently, it looks like she hasn't aged a bit.
Yeah,
she's
probably still doing the wrestling scene, because I know that she was a pretty good wrestler, but yeah,
she retired back after WCW went under.
Retired, but
she retired
into the Hall of Fame
after
in 2015.
They inducted her in 2015. I remember that because I watched
there's
it.
There's a lot of women that were really good in wrestling, and it's just a shame that I think and I used to remember back then, back in the 80s, they introduced some really gimmicky women, but there were some women that were just hilariously funny. Like, they introduced a big... I forgot, what was that one chick's name back in the 80s? And she used to be, like, a really big, husky woman. Like, I think it was terrible... Let me see. WWE Women... 1980... Let me see. Back in the 1980s... I'm gonna look, because I gotta look for the greatest women of all time back in WWE. The greatest wrestlers of the 90s. Nope. Bobby Holly. I used to remember Bobby Holly. Pretty good wrestler. Oh boy, this is really tough. There was a lot of good wrestlers back in the days. Let me see, which one was it that everybody remembered but couldn't forget? And they had so many. Let me see. What do they have? Do they have the? Look at the women. Let me look around, because they got divas, but they weren't divas back then. They were just called Women's Division. Russian wrestling boom in the 90s. The Golden Age. And actually, the American Wrestling Association was the one that they had. And then they introduced it back. The World Wrestling Federation expanded. Oh man, it's been a while, because I used to remember back then they did have like a bunch of women wrestler names. Let's see. WWE wrestler name reference. WWE wrestling champion.
Okay.
Fabulous Mona.
Well, I'm done with this. I'm done with this topic. I covered what I needed to cover with it. It was shit.
Yeah, and it's like I personally,
it was total and complete shit what happened, and
it's like
happily, yeah. If the idiots from
MTV are doing it at it again, but
MTV doubled down on it, and more of them come out pushing that dumbass agenda.
It's like I don't think none of those women are strippers, even though there was one that was caught as a professional porn actress, but she no longer does that anymore, and she pretty much retired.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I know who that was. I forgot her name, but I
Yeah.
remember Candice
And the thing
Michelle.
was, it's like, she was doing that because she was desperate for money. She did it for money.
Yeah, she did. She was like a model and it was like
Yeah.
soft core porn if you think about it, really.
Let me see. Oh yeah, I remember the Mona was a part of the rock and roll. Like Mona was like wrestling longer than I can remember. But too bad she's dead. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
is she dead or alive. Let me check. She died in November 2000. And I used to remember the Rock and Roll Wrestling.
Oh yes, the
Yeah,
Rocky
Mona was a
Wrestling
part of
Connection.
that, and you may remember the Rock and Roll Connection was like the the whole like let's see, Nina Kali, but she was a pretty good wrestler. I used to remember when I was a kid watching her, and then you had Wendy Richter. Yeah, Wendy
Wendy
Richter was
Richter.
another
Yeah,
one, and she was a veteran, and I'm surprised she's still alive.
yeah, she was.
She retired back in
Mm-hmm.
2007. She used to be a part of the Rock and Roll Wrestling.
Wrestling
Yeah, yeah.
Rocky Wrestling
And I
Connection.
used to
Yeah.
remember, that too. Part of the part of
Mm-hmm.
that cartoon thing, and it's like,
Uh, yeah, and they did. And
let's
yeah,
see,
Cindy
let me see,
Lauper
Peggy
pushed
Lee.
for it. She was Captain Lou.
Yep, and you might remember Peggy Lee. Peggy Lee. Everybody remembers
Yep,
Peggy Lee. God knows. Kind of.
kind of.
She was known as Peggy Lee Leather, Lady X, and Thug in American press. Yeah, and now she's known
Okay.
as Thug. Yeah,
Okay, now I got that. Oh, hey, I got enough right
yeah,
there.
and it's like a lot of
This
people
right
may
here and
remember this,
here.
but that's pretty much some of the women that were around longer than I can remember. And it's a shame that as I remember as a kid growing up watching the WWE and when it was WWF and WCW as well.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't a big fan of WCW, I remember watching some of the matches that they did on cable, and it was just like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh
like,
man.
I don't think I don't really call them strippers anymore. I call them like competitors, entertainers, and it's like that's fine. But when it comes down to it, it's like she's like putting them down. It's like they worked their asses off to get where they were, and it's just a shame. It's just a shame that people
Yeah.
like her are trying to joke around about it. And I understand that it was
No,
meant
it
to be.
wasn't a joke. It was her trying to degrade those women. It
Yeah,
was meant to degrade them, basically. It was meant to degrade the WWE. It was meant to degrade those
and
women
I
that
know,
were
and they
in the
trained their
WWE.
asses off, and that deserves some respect, and
I
that
know they
deserves
train their asses
respect,
off. Yeah, I know, and
and
I
that,
give them. I know, and I give
because
them respect for
I
that.
personally do, because I
But
still do, because they train their asses off. They perform how they perform, and that's what they do. And they're entertainers, and they always will be. And even by the fact that if
yeah,
you don't like what they're doing as entertainers, it just it's don't watch
don't
it just
watch it.
because I do like it, and I remembered a lot of the controversial stuff that happened in the past. Yes, it was bad, but it started to get better.
Are you kidding me? Yes, yes. The bra and panties matches and evening gown matches were
Yeah,
very cringe-worthy.
I get it,
I get it. I
but
get it. I get that one. I know that because it's because that's the truth. It is a very
yeah,
cringe-worthy match to watch. Them in basically in bra and
yeah.
panties wrestling and stuff. That was
And it's like, you know what?
Nobody
No one
wants to
wants to
see that
see it
again.
again. But the thing is, right now, I personally don't have an issue with those women being pretty, putting themselves up there and try to, but they're trying to entertain people. They're trying to show their talent.
Yeah, they're it's one half sports, the other half entertainment, like how Vince
Yeah,
McMahon calls it sports entertainment, because that's basically
yeah.
what it
And
is.
the
So
thing is,
yeah, well,
all right, I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
go
have to get
ahead
off for a
and
little bit,
end
JT.
this and
I
say
have to
thank you
get
for
things.
watching, guys. Goodbye, because we're gonna go ahead and go. Uh, I
I
understand.
have to
I
get
understand.
going as well.
And
So
I'm thanks for taking the time to talk about this, man, because I personally
yeah,
agree with you on this
this
because
pissed me off though.
this whole issue with her Cara Marie saying that kind of really
Pulling women. Just one more thing I gotta say. If you call a woman a
and
stripper, if you think they're a stripper
there's
just
nothing wrong with
because they're
strippers. There's nothing wrong with
no,
strippers
there's
because
nothing.
I know a
No,
woman
there
who's a
isn't.
stripper and she's been doing it for longer than I can say, but she's been doing it like probably almost 30 years and she's a very good person.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
go
off now,
ahead, man.
JT.
Go ahead,
Okay, well,
man.
I gotta get
You
going.
too. Thank you for
Later.
coming. And it's like I don't have a problem with strippers. I don't have a problem with female wrestlers doing their job, trying to entertain people, doing touring from one area to another, and it's not easy for them. And I'm trying to point this out to Cara Marie, and it's like saying that really insults them. So, anyways, guys, catch you later. Bye bye.